Hi there, this is Åsa with a new process video, and today I'm working with 3 photos from when we visited the school museum at the old Linköping Outdoor Museum this summer. And I'm going to work with this paper from Kaisercraft, and when I saw it I totally put it away for this particular layout because I think it looks like the desk where my son is sitting and writing on this like little blackboard. I don't know what you call it, but it's a blackboard in half letter size, and I thought it was just perfect as a foundation for this page. And I'm also going to use different elements from the Kaisercraft brand because I think they had lots of pieces that fitted this theme perfectly. The school museum was one that we walked past it and we realized, oh, here's a fun place, let's go inside. And the kids loved every minute of it, and I think that we could have stayed there even longer if we hadn't some kind of urges to see more at this site before we were going to the theater. And at this site it was a really old house, and I think that it had been a school building, and they had put on display a couple of different school classrooms from different areas. And first of all, you could look at the rooms and how they were set out, and look at the desks, and yeah, you can pick up the lid of the desk and look inside. And then they had one room where you could test or try out a couple of the writing methods. So, for example, these two, when you can write with chalk on this blackboard, and then you could write with a dip pen. And that's what my hubby and my daughter is doing in the lower right photo. So I think that with these 3 photos, I captured the whole museum feeling, and I got to display my entire family and the activities that we did at this museum. So I think these were just perfect photos. And then I will explain also what I've told you in a little piece of journaling together with these photos. I have the die cut package from the Kaisercraft storybook collection, and I've used it before for a couple of layouts that had this kind of vintage or old style feel. And I brought it out for this collection, of course, because it has some stationery, some clocks and books and those things, and I thought that was perfect together with this school layout. So I'm just going through and looking what I can find, and pick out a couple of die cuts. And I have been talking about this before, but in this collection kit they have both the die cuts with a white frame around the objects, and they have the die cuts that are colored all the way out to the edge of the paper. And I wanted to use this ink bottle with the the quill, and it had the white border, so I needed to cut it away because I thought that it didn't fit at all with that white border. So I just cut away the border, and that worked perfectly. So of course I'm going to use this on this page. And I'm doing the same with this stack of books, and it's really easy. There's nothing that makes this a problem really, but the only thing that I can think of is the fact that the cut edge isn't as smooth, and the finish isn't as good as you get it when it's cut out by the manufacturer. But that's okay with me, and it was much more important for me to use these die cuts than to have that perfect edge. I also found that little box. It looks like those boxes that you had library cards in or file cards in, and I thought that was perfect as well. And the clock, of course. School is a lot about the clock. And yeah, I'm just playing around with these pieces and seeing what I can find. I had a large 12 by 12 sheet with different borders, and on that border page or paper I found the ruler that I placed to the left on the page. And it's also, I think, a really nice school symbol, and it reminds me a lot about when I was a little kid and first started school. I always had, there was a little dent or a little, like, what you said, a little trench at the top of your desk, and there you could place your pen and your eraser and the ruler, and it looked really neat. So of course I wanted the ruler to be present on this page. Both my kids thought this was a really interesting experience, and yeah, my son hasn't started school yet, and my daughter is in 2nd grade, so yeah, it's still very interesting with school, and it's also interesting to see how it was a long time ago. So it was a really nice adventure and a really nice experience for all of us, and we got to play with these things together, and it was a nice family moment, and it wasn't overcrowded, so we just had a really nice time here. And it's also one of the reasons that I want to go back to this outdoor museum, that they had so many of these small places that you could visit at the same area, and I think that we missed a lot of them. We went on a horse and carriage ride all around the area, and during that ride we saw lots of places that we wanted to visit, but we didn't have the time at the moment, so we definitely want to go back there, hopefully already next year. Now I'm taking away some of that white cut edge by chalking some brown ink across or all around the edges of the die cuts, and I'm happy when I remember to do that, because it gives the page a much more finished look, and it brings everything together in a really nice way, because it's unavoidable that when you are cutting in paper you can see the white edge, and just by taking that edge away it looks so much better. I'm going to write some titling on this page, and I'm bringing out all my brown and brownish alphas that I had, so that I can spell my words for my titling and make it look like it blends into this color scheme that I've already chosen. The paper that I placed my photos on, it looks like papers stacked next to each other, and the photo is taken from above, like down onto the edges of the papers. It looks really, really sweet, and I love it. I've already used it before for the castle layout that I did a couple of months ago, and now I'm making brownish words for like the subtitles where we were, and yeah, where this was taken. I have saved a rather large area at the top of the page where I will place my title, and that will be with those thickets that I just brought out, and it is the burlap font again, and it went really well also with this color scheme. Even though it's a little bit lighter than everything else, that also makes it stand out a little bit against the page, so that it's visible and you can read it easily. These stickers that I'm working with at the moment are from really old sticker sheets from Simple Stories. These came with the I think it was the was it called Generations or something like that? It was one of their first collections. Heritage, perhaps. Anyway, it had all these kind of family and remembrance theme, and with all those sticker sheets came these mini alphas, and I have just cut apart those and placed them with my other alpha stickers, so they are easy to use and won't be forgotten. I think that these 12 by 12 sticker sheets are a little bit too big to easily remember them, because I tuck those away in a special place, and then they aren't where my other alphas are, so I easily forgot them. And with the older ones I've just cut them apart so that I can store them by the other letters. Yeah, I'm using an old ruler just to place out my title to see how long it becomes when I have the whole word, and I will write School Museum, but I will be using the Swedish word for that, Skolmuseet, and below that I have the explanation where it is. I'm cutting some of the letters to be able to spell the whole word, and I think that I took perhaps a B or something like that to spell, get the extra L. Yeah, very nice. I think this gives totally the right feeling to the photos. It stretches the photo atmosphere onto the page, and that's just what I was looking for. These are the themed pages that I love making, and I really I feel really pleased with myself when I manage to find the products that perfectly fits the theme and gives the atmosphere to the whole project, not just the photo block. I'm using some of that craft paper to make journaling blocks. That's the same paper as I used for mounting the small alpha stickers. So I drew a little pencil line so that I know how much of the paper that will stick out from under the photo when I placed it next to the photo block. And I'm just writing what I just told you, that we visited the school museum and that we tried these writing methods and that the kids loved it. So this is just about the last thing that will happen on this page. And here are some close-ups of the finished project. I hope that you have enjoyed this process video, and I hope to see you soon here in my channel again. Take care, this is Åsa. Bye!